Alright, hello and welcome to Lab 4. Before I go over it, I want to just give a little bit of logistical information. So starting this lab, you can start working in pairs with each other, if you would like to. It's not required, but if you would like to. And you can assume for the rest of the labs that you can work in pairs unless I explicitly say otherwise somewhere up here at the top. Okay? That is the idea. And each of you need to submit separately to the autograder still, so I want to see a submission from both of you. And just to make sure I don't get you in trouble for plagiarizing, you need to include a comment somewhere in your code saying who you worked with. Okay? That's all. And of course this will require you to give each other your code and share things like that. So if you're unsure about how to do that efficiently, I'd be happy to give you some tips about that. And yeah, if you're looking for a partner, probably Piazza is the best place to do it. So you can make a post and just say, hey, I'm looking for a partner. Would anybody like to be my partner? And please try and make just one post. So if somebody makes the first one, just latch onto that one and ask your questions inside of replies to it. Okay, so it's not like a million different questions from people all looking for a partner. Just get it done in one single Piazza question, hopefully. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that, so feel free to work in pairs. And because of the midterm, I'm going to make this due in 2 weeks instead of 1, okay? And so let's get right into it. The first thing you'll be doing is calculating the longest word inside of a file, and that is the one tricky thing. So something that you might not have seen before, I just want to teach you this one trick. You can use cin inside of the condition of a loop, and it will read from cin until it hits this thing called the end of file, and that's the first part. And the second part is you can give an actual file, a .txt file or whatever, to a program into its cin by using this less than sign. It's like an arrow almost. It's like the one for cout. It's like give this file to the input of this program. Okay? So let me give you an example of doing all of that so that you will have no trouble. Okay? So I'm going to make a little sample file. Here's my sample program, first of all. Just make it clean for us. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to read from cin forever. Okay? So while, let's do ints maybe. Int I, while cin gets I. Maybe I'll keep track of the sum. Sum plus equals to I, and then I'll output sum new line. So this is very interesting, this program right here. So cin getting I inside of a while loop as the condition of the while loop. Isn't that weird? So what it's going to do is this expression will be true or truthy as long as there's something in cin to read. And the end of cin is marked by a special end of file character. And you can enter it yourself. It's Control D. Control D is in dog. So let me show you this. Now it's just waiting for stuff. It's getting numbers from cin, as many as it wants, and I can stop it. I can say there's no more by typing an end of file character. Okay? End of file, all the way up there. And that is Control D, okay? Hit Control D, it says, oh, you're done now. The sum is 2291, and that will make it false, all right? Then, once it reads the end of file, this will become a falsy statement, okay? And stop the loop. So this is super helpful because files automatically have an end of file in them. So I'm going to make, I don't know, asdf.txt, and then I'll say 42, 43, 44, maybe on different lines. I'll do 12, 13, 14, 1, 2, 3. It can be however you want, just space separated because that's what CN wants. Save that file, and we can give that to a.out as input with that little less than sign. So this is saying give to a.out, give to your program a file, just like that, and it will read it as CN input, okay, and give you back the sum. That is the one weird thing. This you can put in a loop and it actually works, all right? It'll return a true value as long as there's something to read and you haven't hit the end of the file, okay? And you can give a file itself to a program just like this, and you should definitely do that to test your example. I've given you Shakespeare.txt, but you should make some more, okay? So this is the longest word in the entire works of Shakespeare, apparently. That one has some dashes, and it also has a semicolon. That's part of the word. So you'll do essentially the same thing for strings, okay? And remember that strings, you can get entire words at a time through CN. Okay, then the next part of your lab is not too bad. It's just practice with vectors. Practice with vectors and then also command line arguments. So you're going to give a vector, you're going to give the numbers to put inside of a vector as command line arguments, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 4, 0, 3. You can also give nothing. Or you shouldn't give nothing, sorry, because you're going to want to find them in the max. You can always pretend that there's at least 2 elements because you want second smallest and second largest as well. Okay, so as long as you're given 2 things, 2 extra numbers, you are golden. Okay, so this is how you run it. You say / the name of the program, and you give at least 2 numbers, you can give many more, as command line arguments, and that makes a vector. So this is like, make a vector for me please with 1, 2, and 3 in it. Make a vector for me please with 2, 5, 4, 0, 3 in it, in that order. And so then it's your job to print out these, all this information. Print out the minimum, the maximum, the index of the minimum, the index of the maximum, and then the second smallest and second largest elements. They can be the same, because it's like 2 and 2 coming from both ends. Okay? Hopefully that all makes sense. It's just some practice with loops, practice with vectors, practice with command line arguments, everything that we've been learning. So that shouldn't be too bad, and compile and run as normal. Yeah, I think that's all. So you'll submit your code, and the vector one is worth twice as much because that is a more complicated program. Okay, so I think that's everything that I wanted to say there. Good luck, and I will see you next time.